guys, welcome back to the Comic Book Lowdown. I'm Wellington, bringing you guys a poll week video for the week of August 21st, 2013. Day earlier than I normally do. It's very early in the morning, it's like 2 a.m. or something like that. Just not tired, so I thought I'd read all my books. I was planning on reading and reviewing the first two issues of Superior Foes. Decided against that, and I just might not do a review for those, and instead I wanted to allocate that time that I would be using on that on some thoughts and some news that has recently come up, and just things like that. So I'll get into the reviews first. Again, timestamps will always be at the bottom, and we'll get into it starting with the online books as usual. Got two of them, and we're starting with Superior Spider-Man issue 16. We got I'm not even noticing the Ramos art anymore. I've gotten used to it. Ramos doing the art, and of course Dan Slott writing. Dan Slott, this is the only book Dan Slott writes. It's kind of weird to see a writer only write one book at a time. I don't know, you just don't normally see that. At least I don't. But anyways, this is continuing from last issue where Spider-Man pretty much outed Phil Urich as the Hobgoblin, and it was just a really solid issue of him capturing Phil Urich, and you know what this means for the Daily Bugle, what its effect has on everybody, and just how Spider-Man goes about it. And there's some side stuff going on with Carly. Can't remember her last name. For whatever reason, slipped my mind. Carly's and Wraith, her friend the Wraith, are pretty much discovering they're on Doc Ock Spidey's trail right now with baby steps. They're kind of searching his background, how he's getting all this money, because obviously she knows that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and she knows that there's no way Peter Parker is affording all these things, and an army and things like that. And so she's investigating herself, and she's got some leads. I don't know how her leads will end up bringing her to the conclusion that it's Doc Ock in Spider-Man's body, in Peter Parker's body. I don't think that'll even come up. But yeah, I don't know. That part was alright. We had some more Green Goblin stuff. He's in this issue a lot more. He's kind of still in the shadows of everything, but you can see that things are now going to be rolling with this Green Goblin stuff, with the end of this issue, which I don't want to spoil. But issue 16 of Superior Spider-Man, really good book. Yeah, really fun read. And moving on, next book, Animal Man issue 23. I love this issue so much. Usually the Maxine stuff doesn't really interest me, but in this issue it started really interesting me. And of course the Buddy Baker stuff was interesting me a whole lot. Just him kind of looking for answers against these, what they're calling the Splinter Cell, I don't know, Splinter Cell the game or whatever. I can't remember, but the big animal guys that abducted all those animals and sold their body parts to themselves in an effort to be in touch with the Red, and they stole Buddy Baker's blood, and they gave it to Brother Blood, who is now in contact with the Red, and just crazy stuff is happening in the Red, and it's having drastic effects on Buddy and Maxine and Socks, the cat. And there was another thing. Some people were against this. I was definitely for it, and I know Nate was for it as well. The Twitter stuff does show up again, but it's not as much as it was in, I think it was issue 21 or 20 or 21. And I just feel it tells the story so good. It was only on one page, and it was kind of contrasting with what the kind of trolls on Twitter are saying about Buddy in comparison to, what's actually happening in his life. Some people are saying him and his fight with the Splinter Folk people are kind of like a publicity stunt since it's happening so conveniently before, they're kind of like Grammy Awards or whatever. And so, we got some people just being very rude to Buddy and thinking, maybe he's not even really Animal Man. Maybe it's just a publicity stunt from the start to bring him to fame. And it's all this, there's so many elements that make this book so good. I love it. I would say it's one of the best books at DC, in my opinion. But there's just so many good books at DC that I'm not even reading. So, but Animal Man issue 23, very solid. Moving on to a book that I could give or take, and this is Thunderbolts issue 14. The story in it kind of interested me. It wasn't interesting me at the start, and I was, trying to be as optimistic as I could, but naturally I'm pessimistic towards this book now that I've gone through so much with it, and it hasn't impressed me very much. But the end of the story of this, finally taking Thunderbolt Ross, Red Hulk, out of the limelight of the, team leader role, and he's pretty much like, oh, the deal is we do a mission for me, and then we do a mission for one of you guys, and they kind of like pull out names from a hat to see who gets to pick the first mission that they do, and of course they go with Punisher, and the Punisher story and the Punisher mission that they're gonna go on seems really cool. I would love to continue reading it, but if they have this guy Jeff Capallo on art in the next issue, I'm not gonna pick it up. It was god awful. Art usually doesn't take me out of a book, but this, I drew better art than this when I was in 6th grade. Just god awful art. If I see Jeff Capallo on any books, I won't pick them up. Because it was just that bad. What else? Yeah, the story was good. It's just, man, that art was just bad, and the story was not. It didn't wow me extremely. So I might not even pick up issue 15 anyways. Oh, and this says Infinity tie-in. It was really not an Infinity tie-in. The only Infinity mention of it is that the Avengers aren't in New York, and then Punisher's like, well, whatever they're doing has nothing to do with us. That's literally it. So the tie-in was them saying that there's no tie-in between the two. So, Thunderbolts issue 14. Take it or leave it. And the next 3 books are fantastic. Starting with the Superior Nova, or just Nova issue number 7. I love Zeb Wells on this book. I don't care what anybody says. And I love Medina on this book. I don't care what anybody says. Nova's interaction with Doc Ock Spidey is hilarious, and I've come to the conclusion that Dan Slott is the worst Superior Spider-Man writer that's writing any bit of Superior Spider-Man right now. And I think Slott's doing a good job, but now Wells has done it, Mark Waid has done it, Chris Yost does it, and all those guys, I've just enjoyed their Superior Spider-Mans more than I've enjoyed Dan Slott's. Not to say that Slott is bad. I just think that these guys capture the character a lot better. Oh, Brian Posehn's done it in Deadpool. Another writer that I enjoyed their Superior Spider-Man more. And maybe because they use him for more comedic relief in their books, while Superior Spider-Man is definitely supposed to be more serious. Well, and in Team Up, it's supposed to be more serious as well. But I think Yost does a better job anyways. But, man, this book, hilarious, so funny. I think it's one of the funnier issues so far. You got Nova pretty much looking to be a hero somewhere, and he confronts Spider-Man because he naturally goes to New York, and that's where we left off last issue. And he wants to fight crime in New York, and that's where he runs into Spider-Man. Doc Ock Spidey's a real douche to him, and He tries to make a freaking Justin Bieber joke. Doc Ock Spidey does, and he totally botches it, and he looks like an idiot. And it gets to the point where Sam just can't find any work, I guess. And there's other factors that go into this book, and it's just a really good read, and the cover's awesome. I can't believe people are dropping that title. I love it. Next, Venom 39. That's a pretty cool cover as well. This book kind of wraps up, and then it's also continuing. It wraps up some stuff with the jack-o'-lantern. Turns out it did a Twilight Zone twist on me. I wasn't expecting it to do what it did with the jack-o'-lantern, but I thought it worked very well. We get that there's unanswered questions in here, and we have Flash definitely being proactive as to wanting to answer those questions as to, dealing with the symbiote and why it's unresponsive to him, and, coming back and removing itself from Andy, the girl that he accidentally gave the symbiote to. And there's a lot of action in this. This is the last issue that this Kim Jacinto is going to be on art, and then we got the new artist starting, I think, next issue, and he's the artist that did the book Polarized, and I know a lot of people were reading that, and I just looked at some of his art, and I really enjoy it, so I'm glad to see a really good artist on this book again. Not to say that there hasn't been good art, but just a really good artist would be a definite change of pace again, because there hasn't been a just outstanding artist in a while. I know Chauvet is a really good artist. I enjoy his work, and Jacinto grew on me, but they do very great work, but I think this next person will have fantastic work. But the story in this was awesome. Love this book, and I have some more stuff to say about it in a minute. But first, of course, my pick of the week, Daredevil, issue 30, with an amazing cover. Mark Waid did it. He incorporated Silver Surfer in the Daredevil book successfully and made it enjoyable. And he did it through some kind of alien race that, kind of contacts Matt Murdock to try to get him in touch with the Avengers, but it's really, just a ruse. And that's why the Silver Surfer's in this book. But my favorite parts, besides the funny parts between Daredevil and Silver Surfer that there are, there's some funny stuff in there, some lighthearted stuff. The really good stuff I like is the interactions between Matt Murdock and Kristen McDuffie, who used to date until she thought that Matt was going crazy when Foggy thought Matt was going crazy, and you can definitely tell that Matt likes her a lot, likes her on the same level like he liked Mia and Karen Page and things like that. He likes her on that level, and usually women that he likes on that level kind of stick with him, and he's not used to this woman rejecting him, and it makes him feel really bad. And that alien kind of does something to Matt that solidifies it a bit, and this book can go from very lighthearted to a little gloomy, and to even downright just scary and just bad, and it just plays with your emotion, this book. And Chris Samney back on art and back on the story, really, because they both tell a story together, Mark Waid and Samney. Love that book. So that's all the books I got. Now to some news. First off, I got a job today, or yesterday you could say, so happy for me. I'll be working at a grocery store. And yeah, so we'll see what goes on from there. I'll be starting within the month. Next up to the bigger news. I'll start off with this. Marvel is killing me. They're canceling Venom. I'm so sad about it. my one of my favorite books. Um, I have all the issues of it. It's a book that really got me into comics. I know I was reading Deadpool and I was reading AVX, but this book really got me into comics, like hardcore. That I had to get all the issues and everything like that. So, great runs by Remender and Cullen Bunn, with great art by Tony Moore and Lan Medina and Declan Chauvet and Tony Silas and Fowler. I can't remember his first name. There's just been great artists on this book. I just want to congratulate all those people that contributed to this book to getting it to it's going to be canceled at issue 42, I believe. To getting a Venom book that's not even featuring Eddie Brock as Venom as far as 42 issues and actually past that because there's a couple of point issues. To getting a Venom book that far is very just it's a very big accomplishment, and it's a testament to how good the series has been. And I'm sad to see it go. Hopefully, I've heard rumors of it being renumbered starting at issue number 1 in the second wave of Marvel Now. If that happens, I'll be very happy. Especially if they get a good writer and good artist on it, because I think this, contrary to what some people say, I think this Venom is definitely something that needs to stay for a while. Eddie Brock, we all love Eddie Brock as Venom, but, we've seen Eddie Brock as Venom for over 20 years. So, it's always good to see something new last for a while, especially if it's good. So, next note, Ben Affleck as Batman. Okay, let's go. Ben Affleck was going to be playing Batman in the second Man of Steel movie. A lot of people are up in arms about it, and to that I say, just give him a chance. Do not freak out about it. It's not the end of the world. First off, he's a great actor, and I hate that people are bringing up Daredevil and Dogma, because first of all, Daredevil, he acted amazing in Daredevil as both Matt Murdock and Daredevil. That movie was also made in 2003, so, superhero movies weren't taken as seriously by the directors or the public. Thirdly, it was super edited to make it a horrible movie, and the director's cut is way better. And do I have a 4? And 4, it was made in 10 years ago, guys. 10 years ago. And people are also bringing up Dogma and how bad of an actor he was in Dogma. It's a freaking comedy movie by Kevin Smith. He's not going to throw out his best acting chops in Dogma, especially since that was made years and years ago. So, give him a break, guys. Look at his recent stuff. Nobody's mentioning Argo. Nobody's mentioning The Town. People just keep on going back to, he played Daredevil in a, very edited movie back in 2003, and this Man of Steel movie is going to be coming out in 2015. It's going to be coming out, 12 years later from that role? Come on, guys. Give him a break. Give him a chance to, show you guys what he can do. This is very reminiscent of what people did with Heath Ledger when he was cast as the Joker. I even looked up things people saying, that guy from Brokeback Mountain's gonna ruin the Batman series. Oh, here goes down another Batman series down the drain. And now people praise Heath Ledger as being the best or, the second best Joker to ever be portrayed by an actor. So, don't jump the gun, guys. Just give him a chance. He's going to do a good job. Maybe it's not going to be the Batman everybody wants, but it's a Superman movie still. It's still the Superman movie. Batman's just in it. So chill out to all you Ben Affleck haters out there. It's going to be alright. Nolan and Snyder know what they're doing. And on that note, that's all I have to say, guys. I'm Wellington signing off the Comic Book Lowdown. I'll see you guys next time.